I don't care how much it costs. Me, I cannot put up with the insults of my Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is what I'm going to be using in my car. And just like the pen that doesn't write, well, worthless. Don't be worthless. Get guided with Guide Us TV. Get the free app. Guide Us. How I vote for Muhammad. Everybody knows how much I love coffee, right? And I like to use the purest of the water on the planet to make my coffee with. Yeah. Then I was looking real close on this, and I said, France? From the French Alps? Okay, well, I know what to do with this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Get rid of it. Okay, nope. I don't care how much it costs. Me, I cannot put up with the insults of my Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is what I'm going to be using in my coffee. And by the way, Muhammad wins my vote. What about yours? Share. And we're live, coming to you all the way from our studios right here in Southern California. Yeah. And we welcome all of you to our program tonight. We're going to be talking about a lot of topics that you might be very interested in to find out about. And to help me with that, we have a special guest with us tonight, Dr. Sultan, all the way from St. Louis, Missouri. MashaAllah, let's bring him out. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, Doctor.
Feeling good today.
MashaAllah, we've got a bad sound coming out of there. It's a squeaky sound. I don't know what it is, but anyway, maybe my guys can work on it wherever they are, and we can try to get that fixed up. Anyway, so tell us about how is everything there? What's the weather like?
The weather is warm, unusually warm at this time of the year, but that's really good. Feeling good. Yesterday it was 72 degrees. Today it was 72 degrees. You can beat it in November in Missouri. The weather is unpredictable. You know, as they said about Missouri weather, if you don't like it, just wait, it's going to change. You know, so it was a little bit colder earlier, but in the last week or so, it has been fantastic. Weekend was excellent, so I can't complain. Allah Ta'ala's blessing.
Well, if you do complain, nobody listens anyway, right? Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I found that very early in my life, you know?
Yep. Yeah, you won't find too many people to sit around and listen to you if you start complaining. Well, I thought maybe we should discuss that just for a minute because it looks like you got good weather. And up in Michigan and parts up there up north, they've got even better weather. They're just happy as clams. And out here, where it's normally hot, so hot that we were burning up with 2 fires just 2 weeks ago. I mean, it was really bad. And now, subhanAllah, the low tonight's going to be in the low 40s.
Oh, that's...
And it doesn't get up even to the 60s during the day. It gets in mid 50s. Very, very, very cold to me. And
you better turn the heat on. You got to turn your heat on.
Why, we did. As a matter of fact, I got it on now. You know what? Maybe I turned that off. Maybe that's the sound that we're getting here. Let me turn that off.
That's right. So when you're talking about sound, I turned my heater off. I said maybe it was coming from there.
No, that sound is a squeaky sound. I don't know what that is from, but anyway, the good news is that everybody has survived everything out here, and the rain, it's been pouring rain up until this morning. And I think that it helped put out a lot of the fires that were here. I hope so.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, because that was getting pretty rough. Burning up houses and buildings, and not our neighborhood though. All we got was the ashes over here, so we're really happy about that, mashallah.
Very, very, very fortunate.
Let's talk about the virus, and then we'll go on to move to good things to talk about. What about that virus? Is that still hammering out here?
Oh, hammering out like anything. More than 100,000 people being affected on an average. Which is a record. But the good news is that I heard President-elect Biden say that the vaccine is coming, and they will make sure that it is available to every U.S. Citizen free of charge, which is a big service. And I think it is the first humanitarian aid I have seen for the entire nation. I can't recall anywhere that we have ever given anything for free to the whole country. Do you recall sometime?
Well, yeah, they've given us a lot of things, but but not medical support.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Well, go ahead.
It reminds me. In Pakistan, by law, the government is supposed to provide medical care to all citizens. Poor nation, poor country, but the law says that it is supposed to provide for free to the entire nation.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And we are here. We are having so much health problems, and we are still fighting whether Obamacare is good or bad, or it should be abolished and whatever. Not poor people are suffering. I mean, healthcare costs are out of the roof, and poor people have to pay. The current system, poor people have to pay more money than the rich people, you see. And the reason for that is very, very simple. Because of managed care, the prices of have gone skyrocketing everywhere, healthcare, drug, blah, blah, blah. If you have insurance, you can get it for a copay, small amount. But if you don't have insurance, you pay the price which 10, 15 years ago, you used to pay $1. Now you have to pay $15, $20, $50 for the same medicine, for same services. And if you don't have insurance, you are sacked. So that is a very unfortunate part of the whole equation in here. And I hope that President Biden thinks about providing medical relief to people, because they are really suffering.
Actually, I did hear his speech, and it's a 7-minute speech. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but I'll just give everybody a little taste of it, and then I'll tell you what the part that answers your question about this. Let's see if we can put it up here.
Straightforward, who have no business serving in high positions in our government.
Hello? Go ahead. All right. Okie doke, we got it. We got it. Thank you so much. MashaAllah. Oh, we got rid of the squeaky sound, but we lost the audio on the But anyway, the good news is we're still with it. Thank you. Sawadee-go. MashaAllah. All right, that is our headquarters calling me and telling me that we lost the audio when we switched, but we also lost the squeaky sound, so it's all good, right?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So that's a good thing that Biden did that for us. He got rid of the squeaky sound. Anyway, I'll just tell everybody what he said. He was talking about the Islamophobia here in America and how he was going to work to get rid of that. And this was made before he was elected, so we're going to hold his feet to the fire and see if he lives up to what he said. However, the thing that you asked about the medical care, well, he actually disappointed me on that one. He said that he was going to stick with Obamacare, but put a fix on it. And that was one thing that I said, okay. I do know that Trump worked on a whole different system for that, but I don't know where that was going to go. Anyway, I wish that we would have something. We're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, and we do have the most power as far as killing other people. We have the #1 power for that. However, there are a lot of countries. I mean, almost all of the major countries on the entire world have a medical plan that is anybody can just any citizen who walks in and gets what they need. Is that right, doctor?
That's pretty much it. You know, what it saddens me is that we are the most expensive healthcare system in the world. And when it comes down to the quality of health, a few years ago, we were number 82. Now we have slipped down to number 83. 2 years ago, 4 years ago, it was 82. Now it is 83. It means that if you live in other 82 countries, you are likely to get better health and live longer than in the United States.
All right. Well, I think that that's one very important thing that we should all consider. Another thing that really bothers me, disturbs me, is that there was a movie that I think his name is Michael Moore, made a movie, and he took some people that needed treatments down to Cuba at a time when Cuba is like, no Americans coming in here, you know. And it was pretty cool because he took these people down, and as he went, the boat that they had, you know, of course they came out and found out what they were all about, what they were going to do, and then they let them in, and they got the treatment they needed and went back home for free.
Yeah. Well, see, we have commercialized medicine very, very badly, number one. And number two, we have taken we've taken away the decision between patient and the physician and put in a barrier in between called managed care or insurance. You see, insurance decides what kind of treatment you're going to get, what would you not. Your physicians does not decide what treatment you will get. So that is the biggest difference in here. You see, what I recall, because I'm old enough, you know, I recall from the times, you know, in my 70s and 80s, you went to a physician, he gave you an honest opinion, okay? If you didn't like it, that's okay. You can go to physician B and he will give you honest opinion. When managed care came, they said, no, you're not going to make those decisions. We will make those decisions. So the physician said, how will you make those decisions? You're not seeing the patient. So they said, well, we'll give you practice guidelines, you see. So what are the practice guidelines? So the physician said, Who's going to write the practice guidelines? They said, well, our people at the university on our payroll, they will write the practice guidelines. You see, okay, so this is how the practice guidelines came. But what do the practice guidelines say is simply this: if you got this symptom, this drug, that symptom, that drug, and that's the end of it. They went to the patients and said to the patients, hey, look here, come over, I'll save you money, save you money, save you money. So people get them by the cops. Went to the physician and said, hey, if you don't join it, what the hell is going to come to you? So when they put this thing together, the critical mass was created. They started raising the price of drugs and all other procedures and everything. So drugs are 2 times, 4 times, 10 times, 20 times, 50 times higher than they used to be before the managed care started. So basically, people have been converted into cash cows. Treat the symptoms, don't treat the underlying causes. This is the biggest crisis that we have in our healthcare system, that the managed care physician cannot make the decision. If the physician makes an independent decision, and it goes against the benefits of the managed care company, they don't pay the physician. So we're not going to pay you. And the physician cannot ask the patient because they're tied with the contract, which says whatever managed care pays, that's you're going to get. What managed care doesn't pay, if managed care refuses that particular medical care authorization or whatever, you're not get from. So the physicians have lost total control of their own practices. So just they work now. They're really, they're working under the leadership of the managed care company, not their own independent decisions. Does it make sense?
Well, I understand how that works, but I don't think it makes any sense at all, because we shouldn't. It shouldn't be like that. I remember a long time ago when they were talking about this kind of insurance, I said that it's going to be bad especially for the people who can't afford it, because medicine should never be tied to a government agency which is going to benefit or lose. Either way, if the agency loses or gains, either way, it's going to be detrimental to the medical service and care that we would expect from the medical profession.
That is why in 82 countries, they have better medical care than here in the United States, despite the fact that we are spending more than $3 trillion on our health care, you see, every year.
How much did you say?
More than $3 trillion. That's our current healthcare cost is. More than $3 trillion.
A year?
Look at the internet and say what our current healthcare costs are.
Oh, wow. You said 3 trillion?
More than 3 trillion.
Over 3 trillion. Oh my gosh. Oh. Annual medical care. Is that what you would put in it?
Yeah, medical costs. Annual medical costs. USA.
Cost. USA. Let's find out. Let's see what it says here. I want to know myself. It says that the U.S. healthcare spending increased almost 4% to reach $3.5 trillion. Oh my God. $3.5 trillion, or exactly $10,739 per person. Oh my goodness gracious. I can't imagine that. Wait a minute. If it says per person, that's $11,000 a year for every living human being?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In the United States?
Yes.
Wow. How can we get around that? What do we need to do?
What we need to do is, first of all, education. The problem in here is that our healthcare system is 100% symptomatic. First of all, the education has to be understanding what is quality medical care. Why in 82 countries the healthcare is better than in the United States? The First thing is, I have asked this question from many physicians, and believe me or not, I'm not exaggerating it. 100% of physicians have failed to answer this question. We talk about quality medical care. What is quality medical? You talk about quality, but how do you define quality? The way I define quality is, number one, the treatment should get rid of your symptoms. For example, you got headaches, okay? So if I can treat your cause, you got to treat the cause. What can happen? Your headache's going to go away, so you get rid of the symptoms. The second thing is, when you get rid of the symptoms, what happens with your 3, 4, 5, 6 medication you used to use for headaches? They're going to get too, so you get rid of the drugs. And then all the visits you need to make to the hospital and to emergency rooms and neurologists and blah, 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 you know what's going to happen to that? You get rid of that. So the quality medical care should address the underlying cause so that it can get rid of your symptoms, get rid of your drugs, and get rid of the physician, enjoy good health once again. So make America great again. That's how you make America great again.
Whoa, wait a minute. No. We got that guy out of office. He's going in January. That guy's gone.
But
Anyway.
still my heart wants to make America great again.
Okay.
A different path. But, you know.
All right. I guess.
Think about it.
I am thinking about it a lot. Well, all right. Now another issue. I think we should talk about the new administration. What's your take on that? Do you think that's going to be better than what it was?
Oh, for heaven's sake! I'm already having a sigh of relief and sleeping better, and my anxiety is better. Hopelessness is better. This is all around good news. Somebody with somebody with integrity, somebody with a sense of purpose, somebody who presidential, who already is talking about bringing the world together, going on to Paris climate accord. One of the biggest problems of the chronic illness is our environment has been messed up. From all the pollution chemicals produced, the combustion products, from gasoline and coal and all the other stuff. You see, so we need a clean environment, because the poor environment is the major cause of asthma and arthritis and autoimmune diseases and many other diabetes and chronic illnesses. Environmental pollution.
I think you went back off the topic of the new administration. We're back on the medical side.
Okay. So no, I went to Paris Accord. So that's how I shifted, because they're going back to the environment, because you see, our survival depends on clean environment. If you did 3 things, most people will do well: clean air, clean food, and clean water. So that's what I'm talking about. Then he's talking about Islamophobia. I was reading that his top priorities is to work on all those Muslim ban that was imposed, take the Muslim ban off, which is good news. And then he was talking about all those DACA cases. The 4 kids born in here belong nowhere right now. So if we give them dignity, if they were brought in America and as a child, give them the dignity, give them the opportunity, give them equal status, and let them live like human beings. So
okay, you brought up a good subject. Now, what about us? What about the Muslims, the African Americans, the Hispanic Americans, and anybody who is not particularly of the, the whiter, greater, gifted, yeah. So I think that we should give a chance for Biden to say something about the Muslims. I'm going to go ahead and play that right now, and then right after the break, we'll be right back. So guys, just stay with us. I'm going to see if this will work. Try my best. let you have a shot at this. I don't know how to get the thing up. Yeah, here it is. No, that is not it. Okay. Huh. Well, I guess I'm not going to do that after all. Huh. Yeah.
Maybe after the break.
Yeah, well, I can't find the stuff to go to the break anyway. So, yeah. I was really hoping that we would be able to put this up and let people hear him talking about the Muslims, especially, but he mentioned also the Hispanics, the African Americans, and the Black Lives Matter. He was really, the words that he used were amazing and really powerful and really, I think, would be inspiring if he holds up to it. So that was the whole thing. Let me see, how did that get away from us? Don't understand how easy it is to lose out. Anyway, let's go back to Dr. Sultan. Dr. Sultan, there is something that we could talk about now, and that is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and what is the impact from what's going on right now on the Muslims worldwide when they're seeing us have somebody in that actually has background with Muslims, and he has traveled with Osama bin Laden. No, why did I say that? I keep doing that. We joke about these things and then I say it on the air, but I meant Obama. He traveled with Obama.
Yeah.
That was live. We can't cut it out. Anyway, and he's been to Muslim countries, and he's talked and he even said some words in Arabic to the folks there in Egypt, especially when he first came to office. And we all appreciated that. We appreciated the fact that somebody would take the opportunity, the initiative to go in and try to communicate with other people in other countries that had heretofore been in the background or considered way down and all the rest of it. And I think he did a good job, especially when he went into Africa. And he has a brother in Africa. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. And,
Biden has a brother in Africa.
Huh?
Biden has a brother in Africa.
No. I was talking about Obama.
Obama, yeah. He has a brother.
We're talking about the former administration.
Yeah, I saw his brother on the picture.
Yeah. So, and Biden is the vice president, and he and Obama were also personal friends. And I think that the influence, the good part of the influence that will come might overshadow some of the negative things that obviously will always come along with any new party that comes in. What's your take on that?
Yeah, you see, I was just thinking about something interesting. You see, there are two ways of making the tallest building in town, okay? Number one, you trash all the buildings that are taller than your own building, okay? So you got the tallest building in town. Or you build the highest building in town. So that's the way to do it, you see. So there is a stark difference between management style, which I can already see in Biden versus Trump, you see. And that is, he is a builder. That was a smash everything, squash everybody, degrade everybody, man, woman, color, blah, 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 so that I am the highest, I'm the tallest, you see. But Biden is here to build coalition. He is here to put people together on both sides of the aisles to bring them together. So it's altogether 100% 180-degree different personality. And I was thinking about that as Allah Ta'ala in the Quran has said, that people have their own plans and I have my own plans, you see. So I think it has been a big blessing on this nation that there has been a change. And I'm sure that this thing will be for a much, much positive thing.
All right. So we have to take our break right now. Let's see if we can, one more time, I'll get it, but another chance to try to get that message for Muslims. It's called Message for Muslims. And we'll put it up right now. We found it on the internet. If it doesn't work properly, you can find it on YouTube. But let's take a look at this, and then we'll be right back right after this. Just give it a few minutes.
Thank you for taking the time for watching today. One of the things I think is important, I wish we taught more in our schools about the Islamic faith. I wish we talked about all the great confessional faiths. It's one of the great confessional faiths. And what people don't realize, it's one of my avocation is theology, don't realize is that we all come from the same root here in terms of our fundamental basic beliefs. You're doing what's never been done before. You're registering and turning out 1 million Muslim voters. Muslim Americans' voices matter to our communities, to our country, but we all know that your voice hasn't always gotten recognized or represented and or the recognition it deserves. And that's your right as a citizen. You know, what you're doing is making a real difference. I mean that. Muslim communities were the first to feel Donald Trump's assault on black and brown communities in this country with his vile Muslim ban. That fight was the opening barrage in what has been nearly 4 years of constant pressure and insults and attacks against Muslim American communities, Latino communities, black communities, AAPI communities, Native Americans. You know, Donald Trump has fanned the flames of hate in this country across the board through his words, his policies, his appointments, his deeds, and he continues to fan those flames. Under this administration, we've seen an unconscionable rise in Islamophobia. The incidents including kids being bullied in school and hate crimes in our communities. He's named people with a history of open Islamophobia, open, straightforward, who have no business serving in high positions in our government, to key leadership roles in our Department of Defense, the U.S. Agency for International Development. He's not only an insult to our values, it weakens our standing in the world. What message does this send to the rest of the world? We have led the world not just by the example of our power, but the power of our example. I want to work in partnership with you to make sure your voices are included in the decision-making process as we work to rebuild our nation. Right now, we're facing a trio of urgent crises in this nation. A public health crisis, as this pandemic is heading in the wrong direction. An economic crisis, with millions of Americans out of work and small businesses struggling to survive. And a racial justice crisis. A long overdue national reckoning about the way our country has treated blacks, browns, Native Americans, and I know Muslim Americans feel that too, especially black Muslims. You know, these come on top of a looming climate crisis, deep-seated economic inequities that have too long divided this country, rewarding those at the very top while working class folks have to work harder and harder just to stay where they are. You know, there's not a single one of these issues where Muslim Americans don't have a critical stake in our ability to deliver solutions and real results. There's not one of these issues where Muslim Americans aren't essential to our success. From Muslim medical professionals to frontline workers who are fighting around the clock to beat back this virus, risking their own health in the process, to the Muslim small business owners who are the pillars of their community, but have worried about how to keep their doors open. The Muslim CEOs who are keeping people on the job and keeping our country running, like Pioneer Service outside of Chicago, which retooled during COVID-19 from making auto parts to manufacturing ventilators. And to the Muslims who have suffered abuse and discrimination or worse because of their faith, the color of their skin, and those working to advance social justice every single day. All those Muslims who have served in the United States military, who have committed to do so and continue to do so today. I'll be a president who recognizes and honors your contributions. And these contributions go back, by the way, to our founding. I'll be a president who seeks out and listens to and incorporates the ideas and concerns of Muslim Americans on everyday issues that matter most to our communities. That will include having Muslim American voices as part of my administration. If I have the honor of being president, I will end the Muslim ban on day one. Day one. And I'll work with Congress to pass hate crimes legislation like the Jabbar Hire No Hate Act and end racial and religious profile and the End Racial and Religious Profiling Act. I'll be focused on issues that matter to all Americans: getting the virus under control, addressing health disparities, working to expand access to founding. I'll be a president who's sufficient. If I have the honor of being president.
I think that we got enough out of that, and I would like to add that we watched this whole entire video all the way through, and it got very interesting, especially when it came to the medical, because at the one hand, Biden was talking about the service that he was going to oversee and provide, but at the same time he mentioned that it was going to be a form of Obamacare with a patch on it. He didn't say that like I did, but he was saying with some attachment, some number, it was going to have this on, and I thought, uh-oh. So I don't know how we're going to work out on that, but I can keep hoping, as my guest, Dr. Sultan, may have some elaboration for that. Go ahead, Doctor.
Yeah. You see, the only way to bring the medical care back to proper and lower healthcare costs is when you give the decision making into the hands of the patient and the physician. See, from time immemorial, what has been? There's been a relationship between doctor and a patient, you see, and there has been no third parties involved in those decision making. What I feel what needs to be done is, when I started practice, it has like in 1975 or in 70s, no, or up to that point, 80s until managed care came, the outpatient care was not covered by insurance companies. It was strictly the patient's responsibility. Only the hospitalization was covered. So therefore, what we need to do is that the high ticket items, which like hospitalization, nursing home, things like that, that's okay to have insurance on that. But as far as day-to-day medical care is concerned, we got to give the responsibility in the hands of the patient and the physician. When that will happen, then the healthcare costs will go down. A drug that normally ships for $1 gets sold for $100. You see, this will come down because the people will not be able to afford. So, because of the insurance and taking the premiums up in front, people don't know what they're paying. They go to the pharmacy and say, okay, you got $10, $20 co-payment, but they don't realize that the insurance company is paying $200 for that medication. But since it's not hurting you, you don't care what the cost is to you. Is only $10. And as far as you could care, even if they sell for $1,000, what difference does it make to you? So this is where we need to give responsibility to the patient, and just high-ticketed items, we should have health insurance. Otherwise, the cost will continue to go up and up and up, and no one will be able to afford. And when the health goes up, I'm talking about not only drugs, but hospitalization, nursing home, everything goes up. So by giving responsibility to the patient and the physician and empowering these two entities, this is where you will bring the quality medical care. Right now, in the Medicare system, you get tied with one group of physicians.
Yeah,
and you're tied for a year. Whether you like it, you don't like it, you can't move. And you see, when there was no managed care, the patient didn't like me, they could have went to somebody else, They didn't like somebody else came in here. They were free to make a decision. Now they're entrapped
Doctor, let's see if we can get any folks to call in and talk with us. I know that we started out with a lot of people watching, but I think they kind of lost the interest because I forgot to put up the number 1-800-971-4383. And if you're using WhatsApp, 817-546-3396. Go ahead and get a pencil, write this down so you'll have it, and give us a call. We still got a few minutes left in the program. We definitely would like for you to participate with us. Any question you have on any subject, if we don't know the answer, we'll do what a lot of people do on the internet. We'll guess. No, we'll endeavor to try our best to get you a good answer for all of your questions. So let's go ahead and give us a call, 1-800-971-4383. And then if you're using WhatsApp anywhere in the world, you can call us on 817-546-3396. All right? That's how you can give us a call right now. And we're looking for you to give us a jingle on the phone. We're ready. We are ready for you. All right? And I'm sorry we didn't put that up, but we're supposed to have that up all the time in our live program so you guys can call in. Otherwise, how can you talk about it? Makes sense to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. 1-800-971-4383. And if you're calling us on the WhatsApp, 1-817-546-3396. There we go. See, we got a call already. That was our problem. And we have a sister calling us, I think. Assalamu alaikum. Go ahead, sister. I guess it's a sister. Go ahead. You're live. You're on the air. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I bet they're listening to the TV. A lot of people will call us and then watch the TV to wait to talk to us because they don't realize. Put the phone by your ear, guys. Well, after you call us, put the phone by your ear because there is one whole minute. Yeah, here we go. We'll try it again. Salaam alaikum, sister. Hello? Are you there? It says connecting. It's not connected. I don't know what the problem is, but try again, sister. Try again. We want the call. We want the conversation, but I don't know what to tell you. Okay, try it again. Try it again. Guys, if you'd like to give us a call, the phone number is 1-800-971-4383 and 817-546-3396. All right, let's try this. Salam alaikum.
Caller to accept the call.
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
MashaAllah. What is your name? Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Sana. I am calling from Canada.
Oh, MashaAllah. Are you in London, Ontario?
Yes, correct.
Aha. I know that place. I've been there before. I enjoyed it. There were two masjids that I went back and forth between, I think. Was it?
Yes. Sheikh, I have two questions for you. Number one is, can you please give me a name of a book about sociology or how to be intelligent with people? Because I see that you are very well at handling people, even though it's not the episode topic.
No, we don't have a real topic. We talk about things that come to mind, and we wait for you to call in with the questions. So that's fine. That's fine. So go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
Yes, I see that you are very well with people, mashallah. You are very attractive. I mean, like you smile and you laugh and you have a beautiful character. May Allah bless you. I want you to help me to get close to that. Do you know any book? Do you recommend any book in sociology or anything to be well with people?
My favorite book is the Quran.
Okay. The Quran.
When I read the
love
Quran,
that.
I read a lot of the translations of the tafsir or explanation of the Quran and the stories that go along with it. In other words, the Quran could give you one verse and you could find books about that one verse. You could find paragraphs, pages, and even books about a verse or a small chapter of the Quran. And I have enjoyed that so much since being a Muslim. The character of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is also something that I think that you would enjoy reading about him. Al-Rahiq al-Maktoum is a famous book translated to English finally. It was written by somebody from India, by the way. It was written by somebody from India, but he wrote it in Arabic. And he won the #1 prize that year for that work that he did. Amazing. Al-Rahiq al-Maktoum, it's translated as the sealed nectar. And if you get a chance to read that book, oh my goodness, the stories, and you fall in love with the Prophet ﷺ like never before. You're just amazing man, amazing character. His life, his message, his work, his charity, his example for all of us is there in every single step of the way. And an amazing person. Before I came to Islam, I felt that Jesus was that amazing person. And I still have high regards for Isa or Jesus, alayhi salam, peace be upon him. And at the same time, I realize now that all of these prophets were on that same page. They were on the same path. And what people wrote about them wasn't necessarily true. But now with the example of the hadith, which are sahih, the sahih hadith, we can know for sure what was the character of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I encourage you to get it. Or you know what you could do? We have 4,042 websites on the internet. And you could go to our search engine called Search for Islam. And then you could type in Life of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or you could type in whatever the subject you would like to talk about, sociology, or character development, or anything like that, and you're going to find only sources from Islam. And I think it will be a very, it's all based on straight path Islam. No deviation for this group or that group or anything else. There's no descriptive adjective of what kind of Islam or what kind of Muslim we are. We're just plain vanilla Muslims. So I think maybe that would help you. What do you think, sister?
May Allah reward you. Can I ask you which translation of the Quran you read?
Well, I read a lot of them to try to find a better translation. The things that I have talked to people who do the translation of Quran, I ask them to consider different words that might help them convey a better message, a better way. There are some translators who really did good work, but there were some issues about how they translated words. For instance, I'll give you one example. There's a number of the translations that tell the Muslims, oh, you believers, don't accept any Jews or Christians as your friends. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, I have.
That's a big mistake. That is a huge mistake. And let me tell you why. The word for friend and the word that used here in the Arabic is not the same thing. Because the word that is used in the Arabic language is awliya or wali. Now, do you know what a wali is?
like a guardian?
Yes, exactly. And I've asked them to consider using that word as your guardians, or your awliya is another word, is the one that you put in charge of your life. Like, for instance, the best example for women is to tell them, whenever you get married, don't you have to have your father, who is your wali, give you away? He has to be there. He has to interview the person. He has to be sure you're getting a good deal. And then he follows up afterwards to be sure that everything is correct. Is that right?
Right.
Well, that's the word it's used. But now in the Quran, Allah tells us right after, there's the Surah Baqarah, there's the ayah called Ayatul Kursi. You know that ayah?
Yes.
Allahu la ilaha illahu al-hayyul qayyum. All right. After that is another verse. It said, La ikraha fid-din. There is no forcing whatsoever in Islam. And then the next one after that, it says, Allahu waliyul ladina amanu. And he's saying here that Allah is the wali. He is your wali for the believers. And he brings you out of the dhulumati ila nur. He takes you out of the darkness into the light. And so for this, I really think that this is in the same book. And when you're going to translate, you're going to use a word for wali. Why don't you use that same kind of attitude for that instead of saying friends? Because it's a whole different idea, concept. Allah is our ultimate wali. Don't take anybody in place of Allah. That's a good thing to say too. Don't put anybody in the place of Allah. Don't respect somebody better than you respect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That doesn't make any sense. So, but it really tears me up when I see people saying, oh, you have a friend that's a Christian, or you have a friend that's a Jew. You have a friend that's a kafir. Like, what are you talking about? We have social acquaintances, we have friends, but we don't make them as a wali over us. That's very clear. But they wouldn't make us as a wali over them either, probably. I mean, if they did, we'd try to live up to it. But still, you see what I'm saying? And that's just one word. There are many words that make the whole issue of Islam look bad to those who don't know the Arabic language. And this is why I insist that all new Muslims try their best to learn the Arabic and stay away from these loosely translated and less than subjective. That's the word I'm looking for. They are subjective and not objective, because the Yusuf Ali translation has the original that was in 2 volumes that had a number of problems with it, and come to find out, he wasn't even a Muslim, he was a Bori, and I didn't know that until just the last couple of years. So, and I don't blame him for what he did. I just say that we all have a responsibility to know what the Arabic is and focus on that instead of trusting somebody else to tell us what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala meant. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, but can I ask you again? What
Anything.
translation would you recommend, even if I'm responsible for learning Arabic language?
Well, there's a couple. One of them, and I forgot the name that he gave it, but out of Chicago, he took my advice on a couple of the words, and he did that, and it much more suits me, because the scholars that I talked to admonished me. They said, if you ever get a chance to tell anybody, be sure you get these words right. And so that's what we attempted to do. And but one of the translations that is worldwide, I think it's probably the best distributed and the best of the best translations worldwide distributed, is by Sister Muhammad, and it's called Sahih International. And she didn't call it by her name or anything like that. She didn't want people to know it was a woman because she was in Saudi at the time, and they wouldn't have been, that former administration they had at that time wouldn't have appreciated it. But I don't know about the current one, but it seems like it's being distributed a lot more, and that's good. So let me think now. You said you're in Canada. I think it's highly distributed up there as well, isn't it? Sahih International?
Yes, inshallah. I'll find an online copy. Thank you very much.
Well, you can always go to our website. We have 5 different translations that I use on our website, allahsquran.com, and our other one is called recitequran.com. That one will actually teach you how to recite and how to recognize the different rules for recitation. And we have, I think, 16 reciters on there that you can listen to, but you can also see the translation, and it is from the Sahih International. And there's a gentleman who speaks that every ayah, you will hear it in Arabic, and then you will hear the translation in English. And you can also set it up for, I think, 10 or 15 other languages to translate to. What other languages do you like beside English?
That's it, just English.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome, sister. It's Sister Sana, all the way from London, Ontario. MashaAllah. Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
We appreciate your call. MashaAllah. Wa alaikum salam rahmatullah. MashaAllah. That was our sister Sana. She's up in Canada. I visited up there to that place. In fact, I have a very good friend who is now in Doha in Qatar. And he spent a lot of time of his life right there. He's from Lebanon. MashaAllah. We make dua for all of the Lebanese. They had that big explosion. You might remember, Doctor. Remember that huge explosion, and the pictures of that were circulated all over the internet. We have another caller. Let's try that again. Salam alaikum. It said I couldn't connect mobile carrier. Wi-Fi doesn't support WhatsApp calls. Oh, our new Wi-Fi doesn't support. Let me try this again. Salam alaikum, sister. Maybe it's our new Wi-Fi that we got established 2 days ago. We had our whole system got hacked, and we had to put in new Wi-Fi, and I'm going to have to tell them to make it so that the WhatsApp will go through, because I think that's what they did. That was part of the problem, blocking it. Sister, you know your phone, what it looks like. So, you know, we tried our best, but there's nothing I can do tonight. But I'll ask the guys tomorrow to work on it and see if we can come up with something better. All right? All right. So, we're out of time. I didn't realize how fast this was going. Yeah, whenever we start getting the phone calls in, that's when the good things start happening around here. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we better prepare ourselves to roll out. What did we do with those? Oh, here it is. This is, okay, how to vote for Muhammad. I'm going to put that up. Doctor, salam alaikum. Tell everybody get guided with
Guide us, Stevie.
how I vote for Muhammad.
That's right. We're right across the river from Palestine. As a matter of fact, here in Aqaba, the Hilal has been cited for the month of Shawwal.
When the event is called, it doesn't matter where you are. You go and you make your salah. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Now, I think this is
Then I
something
was
that
looking real
inshallah
close
ta'ala
on
we
this.